my friends. Today I wanted to jump in quickly and speak a bit about this idea of overwhelm, being stressed out, what it actually does for us when we are too focused on the problem, and how we can get ourselves out of sticky situations where we feel entangled with the worst parts of ourselves. So let's understand first what overwhelm feels like in the body. Take a moment now and think about a time when you were completely overwhelmed. Maybe you're going through that right now. And if you are, pop it in the comment section below. Let me know what it is that you're feeling overwhelmed about. Quite often, when we're able to articulate the reasons why we're feeling overwhelmed, then we can see that on a piece of paper or on the screen, and we can see it for what it is, as opposed to it just running around in our minds. When we're overwhelmed, there's this sense of not enoughness, whether that's I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources, I don't have enough support. There's always this underlying tone of not enoughness. If you can pinpoint what that not enoughness is for you, you're one step closer to identifying the reasons you're feeling overwhelmed, right? So for example, if you're feeling overwhelmed because you don't have enough time, then you're probably not going to like my solution to this, but stick around till the end of the video and I'll give you some solutions, all of the reasons as to how you can untangle yourself from this feeling of being overwhelmed. The second thing I want to chat with you about is how we make decisions when we're in panic mode. When you're in a state of overwhelm and panic or anxiety, your emotional brain, it's hijacked. It's been taken over by a stress response. For one reason or another, you think that you're under attack. You think that you either have to fight or take flight or freeze. When we're in fight or flight, the amygdala switches on and it just takes over and it puts us into habitual patterns. Now, whether those patterns have been learnt from our family of origin, culture, or they're just innately within us to fight, take flight, or freeze, we put ourselves in these habitual patterns by allowing the amygdala to be hijacked. When the amygdala is hijacked, when the amygdala brain, when our fight or flight is on, we're not really thinking strategically, we're not using our front brain, our neocortex, we're not making logical decisions, and we're making decisions from our emotional center, which is to say that we're making decisions that might not be advantageous in the long term. The first thing that I would suggest that if you're trying to make a decision and you're feeling overwhelmed or panicked is to just stop. Don't make any decisions until such time that your nervous system is calm enough that you can think straight and make a decision from the logical part of your brain, something that is going to be serving to your future. I know that there have been times in my life where I have made really silly decisions based on fear. So the fear of perhaps not being enough, not having enough, not doing enough, not receiving enough. And when you make a decision based on fear or scarcity, which most of those examples were, the decision that you make is generally short-term. My suggestion would be to always remove yourself from this emotional reaction and do something that is completely counterintuitive, which again, I'll mention a little bit more about at the end of this video. The biggest obstacle that I see people have when I give them this advice is that they're gripping fear of letting go of the problem, or at least in their rendition of trying to find a solution to the problem. The fear of letting go is suffocating to the point where they don't know how to let go. They're so frightened that if they do let go, that they're not going to find a solution. And if the emotional brain has then taken the driver's seat, then this fear, it feels real in the body. So the fear of letting go, of dropping whatever it is that's going on in your mind and doing something completely counterintuitive is almost visceral. We feel it in our bodies. So something that I learned from my coach, Haley Carr, I want you to look at this pen. and imagine for a moment that this pen is the problem. You have a problem and it is the pen. And now you want to find a solution to the pen problem. What we do as human beings is we focus so much on the problem, on the pen, that we get so close to the problem. We could, with our eyes closed, explain what the problem looks like, feels like, does. So we can tell that this is a black pen, has a plastic lid, it's a ballpoint, it is more than halfway finished, the ink is almost done, it's intact, there are no scratches on it, it has 2 little love hearts on the clip, the plastic covering is see-through, there's a little dent up at the top here, and I could spend probably an hour looking at this pen and explaining different features of the pen, what it looks like, how it feels in my hands, what it does, maybe experiment with it. I'm constantly focusing on the problem. But the problem is not where the solution lies. The solution lies everywhere but the problem. The problem doesn't contain the solution. The solution is away from the problem. And if I'm constantly focusing on the pen, the problem, I'm never going to take my eyes off the pen to see what the solution is, the not problem. So if you are focusing so much on your problems that you're not able to draw your attention away from the pen, the problem, and look elsewhere to find a solution, you're never going to find the answers that you seek. So what I'm recommending in this is that you drop the pen, the problem, and you take your gaze, your attention, your focus elsewhere to find the solutions in other parts of your lives. Again, as I mentioned, sometimes this can be really challenging because when you are worried about something, it's human nature to want to fix the problem so that you can move on to the next thing. But quite often we need to give that problem space and we need to take a step away from the problem in order to find the solution. Have you ever noticed how a lot of the times you find solutions when you're just completely relaxed, like in the shower, cleaning, going for a walk? I went out for dinner with my friends the other night and I was having a conversation and dishing up some food into my plate, and there was this moment of silence on the table, and all of a sudden there was a solution to a problem that I had been asking in my mind, and it just came to me within that moment. It was such a random experience, but I know that's because I was completely relaxed and I wasn't focused on the problem. I was just having a good time with my friends and allowing the wisdom that was within me to come to the surface, and the solution was able to present itself to me. So we want to find ourselves in a very relaxed state in order to solve the problems, or at least find solutions to the problems that we think we're having. The other thing is that when we're in a stress response, when we're overwhelmed, when we are so completely absorbed with this issue that we're facing, we quite often forget all aspects of ourselves. So say you're having a problem at work, your mind becomes so consumed with the issues that you're having at work that I can almost guarantee you, if you're not careful, you forget to eat, you don't sleep well, you forget to take your supplements, you don't work out, you basically exacerbate the stress response by not taking care of all parts of you. Your emotional health starts to dwindle, your mental health starts to dwindle, your physical health starts to dwindle, all because you're having this issue at work and you haven't been able to compartmentalize the issue, or at least put the pen down once you leave work to find the solution elsewhere in your life. So I had a client over the last week who's having an issue with her business. So I coach, train, and mentor women in particular who are looking to start a business or who are in the throes of actually growing their business. And this woman was really experiencing some trouble, some blockage with trying to find a solution on how she can grow her business even bigger. And she had been focusing so much on the issues that she's having that instead of finding the solution on how she's going to grow her business, all she's constantly doing is plugging holes to the issues that she's facing in her current business. The moment she was able to just ignore those problems, even if it was for half a day, which is what I suggested to her, close the laptop and counterintuitively for her, move away from your office, go and walk the dog, play with your kids, take a spa day, lie in the bath, do nothing. Once she was able to give herself some freedom and some space, she was able to find the solutions that she was seeking on how she was going to grow her business even more. Right? Sometimes we can be so focused on the problem that we're not allowing ourselves the space to find the solution in the not problem. Yeah, put the pen down. So we want to remove ourselves from the stress. If you are having issues with time, you feel like you don't have enough time, then my suggestion is always going to be that you create more time, which is just to say that you do less of the things that are stressing you out and turn the dial up on the things that bring you joy. If you're having issues with support, perhaps you feel like you don't have enough support in your life, then stop focusing on the lack of support that you're receiving and start instead giving others in your life support. Yeah, it seems counterintuitive because all you're looking is to receive support, but that which we give, we receive in return, right? Universal paradox. If you're experiencing a lack of resources, my suggestion would be to, instead of focusing on what you don't have, put all of the things that you do have either on paper or out in front of you and see the incredible amount of resources that you do have at your fingertips and figure out a way that you can use what you have to create what you want. Now, remember at the beginning of this video, I mentioned for you to write down the reasons of your overwhelm. In that reasoning, in those words that you've written down, you're going to see very clearly as to not only the reasons you're feeling overwhelmed, but what's causing the overwhelm. And try to think of it this way, that you want to take the issue that you're experiencing and turn your back on it and do the exact opposite. The exact opposite. So if you're looking to receive, then that means you want to give. If you're looking to run away from the problem, this is another one. Let's say you're actually averse to finding the solution and all you're doing is trying to run away from the problem, then for you, my friend, you're going to have to turn towards the problem and move towards it and examine it and be with it. So you want to counterintuitively, and I say that because you're probably not used to doing this. It's not something that comes intuitively to you. It's almost counterintuitive. You're going to want to do the exact opposite of what you've always done because you're looking for a different result. And sometimes you're so close to the issue that you can't see a way out of it. And that's when it's really helpful to either speak with a coach, a mentor, or even a friend or a family member, someone who knows you well, and someone who you trust to help you see what's the issue that you're experiencing so that you can do the thing that is counterintuitive, the thing that is the exact opposite to what you've been doing. So with all of that being said, please let me know how you go with this. If there's anything that I can support you with, any ideas that you're having that you're not really sure on how to move forward with, pop them in the comment section. We are open for enrollments for the Audacity, which is an energy medicine mentorship. It's a group coaching program that runs for 6 months, starting in December, running all the way through to next year, May. Now, a lot of you have been questioning why I'm starting a coaching mentorship in December, and the reason's really simple. Because starting 2023 with a clear vision in mind is so powerful. This is the same thing that I do every year in my business. I sit down at the end of November. My birthday's at the end of November, and I sit down on my birthday every year and I plan out the following year. And then I sit with those plans during December so that by the time I come back to work in January, I am ready. It's not that I have to figure things out. I don't have to try and schedule things or strategize. Everything is set out and all I have to do is move my feet. And this is so powerful because after having a break in December, whether it's a day, a week, or the whole month, I normally come back in January with all cylinders firing. I am ready. And it's so powerful to know exactly what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, because I've had the time to plan it in December. And so this coaching mentorship is going to be so incredibly powerful starting in December. And then we've got 5 months together in the new year to action and to strategize and to work with your unique energetic blueprint to bring the things that you're looking to bring to life. And so this is not only for business owners or creatives, it's for people who are in corporate as well. I worked in HR for many years and spearheaded emotional intelligence campaigns and worked with leaders and executive teams, helping them to not only develop their own careers and support them in leading and developing their own teams, but also looking at the big picture of business, whether it's their team in isolation within a business or the full business at large, to help them catapult their results. And I'm here for it. I'm here for all of that. So this is 6 months with me, and I've just released something that's really exciting. If you decide to sign up between now and the start date, which is the first week of December is the start date, for the time between the date you signed up and the date that we officially start, you and I will coach one-on-one with Voxer. Voxer's a walkie-talkie app, which basically means we speak to one another, and it's a call and response kind of app. There are no times required, so you don't need to be at your phone at any specific time. You leave me a message, we start a conversation, and within 24 hours, that answer has been relayed back to you via your app. And so this is basically like having me in your back pocket for, let's say, a month if you choose to sign up today. And this allows you to get a head start on whatever it is that you're looking to achieve now. Maybe you have some end of year goals. It could be anything relating to business, family. Christmas is coming up. Perhaps you've got some concerns about the festive season. I am prepared to support you with anything. There is nothing off the table. So between now and the official start date at the beginning of December, you and I will coach and mentor one-on-one with me in your back pocket. This is worth thousands of dollars, and I'm so excited to actually support you in this way. It helps me to get to know you a bit better. It helps me to create some really cool content for the full container of the Audacity, and I'm so excited to be offering this to you. So if you've got any questions about the Audacity, head to ariana.com.au/the-Audacity, and full details are there. Otherwise, good luck with everything that I've mentioned in this video. I hope that you're starting to feel a little bit more calm and relaxed with these strategies on how to relieve overwhelm and panic. Remember, you always want to be turning in the opposite direction of what you think you should be doing. Give it some space, allow it room to breathe, and I promise you, you will find the solution. And 9 times out of 10, the solution is right in front of your eyes. You've just never considered it before. Hands down, I can guarantee you the answer is right in front of you. But because you've been staring at the problem for so long, you haven't even looked up to see that the solution is staring you in the face. All right, my friends, have a beautiful day. Bye for now.